Friday was a normal game. Saturday and Sunday were off the rails, but the Cubs bank in another series win in Pittsburgh.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Thank you for being part of the show and making us your first listen today. And the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day, like the video, and comment anything below. Today's episode is presented by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code LockedOnMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Cubs take the series from the Pirates over the weekend. This is following a 5-4 win Sunday, 10-9 loss Saturday, and 7-2 win Friday. Northsiders are now 24-17 on the season as we have reached the quarter pole of the 2024 campaign. That's right, 25% of the way through the year as of Sunday's game. Sam, this was an absurd series all around, especially the last two games, but the Cubs are able to exit Pitt little meatloaf style. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Wait a minute. There's a lot here. First of all, why are we wearing the same hoodie, but I can clearly see you're locked on mine, and mine I have to ride up? Is that because I'm not why don't
camera, maybe it's like some kind of camera angle?
Yeah, maybe I do.
I think I'm a little bit, first of all, I'm a little bit further away from my screen than you are.
Yeah, all right, whatever. The quarter part of the season being over just really freaked me out. Next time off the air, I'd like you to
I was wondering if you were going to I thought maybe you didn't know that.
No, I didn't know it, and I don't like hearing something like that. Okay.
So you want me to say that off the air first?
Just be like, hey, I'm gonna.
We have an organic show here. We don't do, prearranged.
We don't do that. We don't do that. I just can't believe.
Not like the other show.
I can't believe. I can't believe we're 25% of the way through the season already. That makes me nauseous.
A little bit. It's unsettling, you might say.
Yes. Getting into the weekend. Let's work backwards, Matt.
Yeah, let me brace myself.
Sunday was a very, very weird baseball game. And if the Cubs lost, it would have been one of the most unjust, ridiculous results. And I know you're an old school baseball guy, and I mostly am too. And I get a little tired of the stat casts and the exit velo and the perceived batting average and all that great stuff. But for 2 hours on Sunday morning/afternoon, the Cubs just continued to hit rocket after rocket after rocket into glove after glove after glove. Seiya Suzuki should turn this tape in, and it should be the title of Here's Why You Should Never Play Baseball. He went 0 for 5 and stung the ball beautifully 3 to 4 times and hit a home run, but I think the Pirates were messing with the balls or something. It was a really weird weekend on that front. And by the way, that Suzuki non-home run cost me my fantasy matchup. Kyle Hendricks was solid. We could talk about that maybe another time. I'm not going to
another time. It's a series recap episode.
Well, I just don't want to unpack the whole thing. What does this mean? Is he back in the trust?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay. It was one good outing, and I was happy for him.
We can have a couple rain delays in the ATL, so we're going to have plenty of time.
Oh, did you already look at the weather?
Yeah, it's bad, especially Tuesday. Serious jeopardy.
Go Cubs. Oh, okay. Okay.
Monday is going to be a coin flip.
Go Cubs. Oh, boy. Well, maybe we'll hopefully rain out all 3 and never have to go back to it.
Play 159.
Yeah. I'd like to give a shout out. Well, maybe I'll just go through all 3. Patrick Wisdom was huge on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Cubs found a way to win the game, albeit Adbert Alzolay once again was the only reliever left to pitch, and he was not good and somehow survived with a little bit of luck on his side. But it was just one of those games Sunday that the Cubs, if they didn't win, I told my mom this. I was hanging out with my mom on Mother's Day, and I was like, if the Cubs don't win this game, it's going to be kind of a lowly Mother's Day for you, and I'm sorry, because this game is ridiculous. One quick thing I want to point out from Sunday, Matt, I thought it was a little odd, and every time I question Counsell, I get crushed on every social media platform, even though I love the guy and think he's doing a great job. But in a 2-2 game, he pulls Morel for defense, which makes Madrigal go to third, Bastro go to second. Then with a man on third, 1-out contact spot, Amaya due up, he pinch hits Bush versus Bednar. The one thing you can't have there is a strikeout, and there's nobody that's been striking out more than Michael Bush. When that sequence happened, I was watching the game with my mom. I left the room, and I literally said, just let me know when he strikes out, and I'll come back in. She couldn't believe it. She thought I was just being pessimistic. That was a little weird. I don't like when managers do that. Oh, platoon value. It's not about platoon value in that spot. It's just about contact. Who's going to make contact? But anyways, it was a great win on Sunday. I'm going to skip Saturday for a second because I don't want to bombard people with negativity because apparently that's all I do. Friday was one of the better wins of the season. Outstanding work against with Jared Jones. Ben Brown was electric. Assad wasn't sharp, but he was just good enough. And then Saturday, Matt, Saturday was a really weird baseball game.
It was a weird series.
The Cubs were walked with the bases loaded 6 times in 1 inning.
That's stupid.
Justin Steele struggled. He gave up 302 home runs to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yeah, which was, we must say, hopefully just a blip on the radar. But as my dad sent me a text, you can't, that's not acceptable from somebody of his stature.
It's bad baseball.
And then Keegan Thompson, who you publicly said was probably cooked, and multiple people got on you in the comments.
Body language thing.
He came in an 8-6 game and gave it up. And that was pretty much the difference in the game. But overall, 3 games, 2 wins, in which was a little bit of a scary series. And I just want to say we've been on them a lot. And obviously they're getting healthy. An outstanding weekend from the offense. I mean, it was really nice to see. Jared Jones is a stud. Skeens has great stuff. The Cubs were not overwhelmed by either of those guys.
That's a big story.
They just struck out, 3 times against Jared Jones? If I had 5 or 6, I would have won in fantasy this week. Skeens on Saturday. Everyone kept saying Skeens. Pat McAfee's tweeting.
When are they going to build the statue at PNC?
And it's fine. It's good for baseball, but the Cubs were not overwhelmed by that young man at all. And
that's actually awesome.
And I'm looking forward to him coming to Wrigley and seeing if they could get more results.
Hendricks versus Skeens is going to be lit.
Is that really what the matchup is?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've talked enough. Sunday was also a good offensive performance as well, as we talked about.
Yeah, well, first of all, Kyle Hendricks was supposed to pitch in Des Moines on Sunday. The fact that he allowed a run on 2 hits, I don't care if it's against the worst offense in baseball, because it was. 1 run on 2 hits in 5 innings, I did not expect. Season high 94 pitches, I did not expect. And then going to extras and winning, I have to say, I did not expect. They have been awful in extra inning games. It's not so much awful. It's just that they get edged every single time. And you go to extras at 2 to, it's 2-2, and they're able to push across 3 top 10. You go to the bathroom, you come back, it's 5-4. And
it was a long run.
Is he still going to be on this team much longer? Or is he going to get the Hendricks treatment, so to speak?
I think it might be time.
But like you said, no one else available with Wisniewski throwing 90 Wednesday and still in the mix to possibly start this Wednesday. Great job by Wisdom, Morel, Horner, single 3 walks. I got some tallies for the series, but I do think one of the main stories as you go down the line like you just did is the offense. And for as frustrating as it is on Saturday to leave 33 guys on base or how many ever it was, the Pirates did lead that game 6-1. They did score 6 off the Cubs' number 1 pitcher. Cubs tie it because it became a freshman baseball game.
No, it became
and then the Pirates get the lead back after almost a 3-hour delay.
Well, the Cubs took the lead. They tied it.
An 8-6 lead.
Yeah.
Then Keegan Thompson, who probably shouldn't be on a major league roster right now, allows a 3-run homer to Yasmani Grandal, who that was his first homer of the year.
Yeah, he just got
The
healthy.
McCutcheon solo homer makes it 10-8. Cubs mounted a rally, but fell short. But this Skeen story, I have to say, it's annoying. As the opponent that you're actually facing this dude in his debut, I wanted to know, what are the dimensions of the statue you're building?
Nah, see.
Because
I don't agree with that.
No, but come on. It's
No,
everywhere. It's everywhere. And they
But that's
showed well against him.
no, they showed well against him 100%, but the hoopla doesn't bother me because baseball needs this.
Right.
They're clinging on to stuff.
It bothers me. It's Pittsburgh.
How many?
What's that going to do for the league? He's in Pittsburgh.
Well, no, hey, listen. So was
Respectfully.
So was Roberto Clemente.
Respectfully.
So was Willie Stargell, Ralph Kiner.
Friday's game, that was kind of the foreshadowing. If this is English class, that was for the weekend, because Jared Jones again comes in with a lot of hype. Okay, he has a good resume so far, but you were able to grind out at bats, get to the Cubs offense. You go into the middle of the game trailing.
Great win.
2-1. You come out of the game winning 7-2. So, Bellinger all over the score sheet there with 4 hits. Brown cleans up Assad.
Bellinger looks good.
On the weekend, Morel 5 for 12 with a homer and 3 ribbies. Mike Talkman 3 for 10, 4 more walks. And this team hasn't lost. Here, 2 striking things right here.
Sure.
Cubs still haven't lost 3 straight games. And they still haven't lost 2 straight series yet. And that is a sign of possibly a great ball club.
Can we just...
It was a wild series. It was messy at times, but they somehow won 2.
I want to talk about 2 things before we move on to putting on our medical caps and talking about the 711 injury reports from this weekend. Number 1, bottom 9 today.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
Joey Bart, check swing single. When I saw that, I was concerned about, losing my temper.
How the inning was going to unravel.
Neris balk.
Yeah.
Ground ball in the hole. Outstanding play by Nico to keep it on the infield. Stolen base. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Thank goodness I'm yelling at the screen. Yeah. Just walk McCutcheon and load the bases. Just walk them. And then they get a tapper to Neris. I thought he was going to mess that up. And then a 3-1 pitch. Did you not think that he was just going to walk O'Neal Cruz in?
I thought he was going to walk him.
And he hits a fly ball to right center that Bellinger and PC.
Bellinger in right for the first time.
Apparently they didn't speak, and they almost ran into each other. Once that ball was caught, I thought it was the Cubs game to win.
Okay.
And then the second thing is I just want to say Pittsburgh, I did the crossover show.
Yeah,
and
shout out to Ethan.
I have no problem with the Pirates. I think it's a great baseball city when it's right. There's so much, the Clementes of the world.
Great stadium.
History. The best stadium. Couple things. Number 1, does it ever not rain there? Right. And number 2, can you just
game operations
game on time? I mean, 12:35 start. 12:38. I don't see anybody on the diamond. Jeez. But it was overall, I'm just joking around. It was a fun weekend. Cubs did their job. I want to make one quick thing because we're not going to have time to hit this. I know it's a long segment. I'd start to watch very carefully what's going on in St. Louis because I think they're pretty close to getting rid of their manager. I know they won on Sunday.
Oh.
Their efforts this week before that were despicable in Milwaukee. Despicable. So there might be a change coming there. They are not good. Go ahead.
A possible sell-off this summer?
Sell-off this summer or maybe a last-ditch effort managerial change. That team, thankfully, they're now a whopping 1-6 versus the Brewers this year.
Well, I think they're 2 out of 2 for their last 10, right? Cardinals? I think in their last 10, they're 2-8. Coming up next, let's go down all the updates, injury for better or worse. Stay tuned. Today's episode is brought to you by Policy Genius, the country's leading online insurance marketplace. It saves you time and money so you could Provide your family with a financial safety net starting today with Policy Genius. You can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 a year for $1 million of coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exams. Policy Genius helps you compare your options from top companies, and their team of licensed experts is on hand to help talk you through it. They have a team of award-winning agents who will walk you through the process step by step. You can easily compare quotes from America's top insurers in just a few clicks to find your lowest price. Check life insurance off your to-do list in no time with Policy Genius. Head to policygenius.com/lockedonmlb or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. policygenius.com/lockedonmlb. Cubs play the Braves at 6:20 p.m. Central Monday, and you can hear every pitch of the Cubs' hometown broadcast on SiriusXM by searching Cubs on the SXM app. Well, another injury segment here on the program, and thank you whenever and wherever you may be listening here on a Monday. It did start really Thursday night when the Cubs bizarrely put out probables on a Thursday night of an off day for the following series. And Jamison Tyone wasn't on there. We learned Friday he has back discomfort, and now his start was postponed from Friday originally. He is supposed to start Tuesday in the ATL. But Tyone, in between starts, did feel that, reported it to the team, so then they took action, right? Then you get to about 2 hours before Friday's game, still nothing. I'm ready to tweet from the show account. We're 2 hours from first pitch. There's no news, no leaks, no roster moves, nothing. All of a sudden, about 3:45 Central or so, just an avalanche of news. Same thing happened Saturday. Dansby Swanson to the IL. Seiya activated. We knew that. But Dansby goes to the IL with a knee sprain. Here's two things about that that's incredibly frustrating, at least to me, and then we'll hear what you have to say, Sam. But okay, so the injury is retroactive to May 8th, so he could be activated as soon as this Saturday. Great. But then the Cubs say publicly that not only had he been playing with knee soreness the past week, but he'd been playing with knee soreness since April 25th, a full 2 weeks before being placed on the IL. Dude, what happened there? Mm-hmm. Saturday morning, Yency Almonte to the IL with shoulder soreness. So there's a lot here. Jose Cuas was on the team for about 12 hours. He's back in Des Moines when Hendricks got activated Sunday. Where do you want to start here? Because Tyone is notable, Swanson's notable, Almonte is notable.
Well, let me respond to your Swanson thing first. I hear you, and I agree with a lot of it. This is a slippery slope because I'm not saying that he's not hurt. I just think it was something that was probably really manageable, and the struggles have gotten so bad that they're like, hey, maybe this thing's bigger than you think, Dansby, so let's sit you down. I don't think it was like a known, hey, Dansby's hurt with knee soreness, but we're going to just gut it out. I don't think that's what it was. I was like, hey, we know Dansby's got something going on. We don't think it's impacting his play. Oh, you know what? He really is starting to struggle on both sides. Now he's saying it's hurting a little bit more. All right, let's shut him down. I find it hard to believe the Cubs would be that incompetent where they would just let him be out there struggling with an injury. And Vince Lombardi always says this, right? Always said this back in the day. Yeah. There's a difference between being hurt and injured. When you're injured, broken bones, sprain, whatever. When you're sore, you're hurt. And so I think he was hurt, and he probably said, look, we got a lot of guys missing right now, so I think I'm still good enough to play, and we need that. And so it's probably a physically tough effort from him, but I think they just said, look, man, it's just not working out, so this is what we're going to do. I don't think they publicly said that right, and it gave off a different message, but maybe I'm giving them too much credit, and they just botched the whole thing. The Almonte thing is going to be very much like the Merriweather thing in terms of just getting slipped under the rug. It's huge. It reared its ugly head on Saturday because if he's healthy, everyone's pushed up a spot. You probably don't have to sit through Keegan Thompson blowing another game. On Sunday, if he's healthy, You probably don't have to worry about Adbert Alzolay pitching in a high leverage spot. Right. It's a massive loss. He'd been throwing as well as anybody not named Mark Leiter Jr. so far.
Yeah, wouldn't you say he was currently the second most trusted?
Easily.
Yeah.
That doesn't take a lot with this team.
Right.
Um,
well, I laugh, but
now let's talk about Saturday real quick. Christopher Morel bangs his knee, misses the rest of the game, back in the lineup Sunday. Great sign. I do want to just state this publicly because I think it would be irresponsible if I didn't. There was a moment in Saturday's game where Seiya Suzuki, who had a couple of hits and crushed the ball on Sunday, but I still don't think he looked all that comfortable. He had a little, if you're watching on YouTube, he had one of these, like just a slight check. He grabbed right at his side. The trainers came out, and it was nothing. Forgive me if I'm a little bit overly concerned with his oblique history. So hopefully that,
or with anybody on the team.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll be okay, because I think him and Bellinger, we really just saw, even with Seiya going 0 for 5, just having him back the last couple days along with Bellinger, it's just such a different lineup.
It's different.
And so, hopefully he's okay. And then the Tyone thing's just, it just seems like the same thing. I believe this is now the third time in his Cubs tenure he's had a little injury while he's not actually starting a game.
Right.
It's in his side session. So, this is obviously a concern, and it has been all year. I hope it gets rectified. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I mean, on the Almonte front, it's just the bullpen. It's been so bad. It almost like it's bad to worse in a sense, just because you have people on the team that shouldn't be here, and it's more than one. It's more than one person.
Wait, hang on.
And it's comical because there's only two even 40-man roster relievers left, and one's in Double-A.
Matt.
They've used everybody.
Matt.
And they all stink.
Let's just do a quick reliever as it stands right now power ranking. Are you ready?
Not really.
Let's just do the top, because I'm going to make a point, and I think it's going to be kind of funny.
Could we even name all 8 relievers?
Number 1's Leiter. Number 2 is probably Ben Brown. Right. Number 3 is probably Neris, just off pedigree and leverage. Right. You want to know who I think number 4 is?
Colton Brewer.
I think it's Colton Brewer.
Yeah. He was signed to a minor league deal in like January, the doldrums of January.
I think it's Colton Brewer. I thought
might have been later than that, actually.
I thought he did a nice job Sunday. And you could verify this.
He should have pitched Saturday.
I told you off the air during the delay, I wanted to see him first out Saturday. Why not? We know everybody else isn't very good. I wanted to give Lovelady a chance. That hasn't gone well.
Right, he's pitched a lot this week.
Yeah, well, because he's mad because we only have one lefty. So he has to come in.
I gotcha.
Who else is there? I can't.
There's literally 2 names. Oh, you're talking about current pen?
So then it's Keegan Thompson.
Right. Well, they still need to figure out what Wisniewski's going to do.
Is Palencia still up?
I think so. I don't even.
Well,
I don't even know. Did he pitch this weekend?
I don't think so.
I don't remember writing his name down on my card.
No,
I can't. I'm not even going to look this up. It's too demoralizing.
Well, I'll do it.
Okay, my computer's too
Who's
old.
on the team is what I want to know. So today we go Hendricks, Lovelady, Brewer, Leiter, Neris, Ausley. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 relievers. We know Brown.
Okay,
and we know Thompson 7, and I think isn't Wisniewski technically?
Oh yeah,
8?
so now there's more starters than relievers now. Yeah.
Yeah. So they
Palencia got sent down, I think, this past week.
So there's probably another roster move coming tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I guess, but who's coming up?
Somebody that could pitch in the bullpen, because you can't unless Wisniewski goes to the pen and pitches.
Well, and I think
out of the pen
with this stretch of, again, a lot of games without off days, I think Wisniewski might start Wednesday against the Braves. That way they could give everyone extra rest. But yeah, I think he's the person to the pen, if not.
Well, we need some guys that actually are going to.
Porter Hodge could be available.
Michael
Arias.
We need some guys to come out of the pen. I mean, this Almonte thing is a real problem.
He was the 13th player placed on the IL so far this year.
Let's see if should we. No, we don't have time for me to try.
No, it's too long.
Yeah. No,
hopefully Merriweather returns in mid-June. And by the way, have you noticed that we haven't gotten an update in about 10 days on Wicks and Smiley? That's not good.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I forgot about them both.
Coming up next,
no, it's just there's so many I can't keep track. I might as well
keep up with.
I might as well start my own medical clinic. Come see Sam Olber on Fridays. He'll diagnose all your muscle problems, your virus. Maybe you got a flu. Do you need to go on medication? I mean, with this team, I might as well be an MD.
Coming up next, the Cubs head to the best team in baseball. Stay tuned.
Get an MD.
Prize Picks, our great partner here on the show, is America's #1 fantasy sports app. It's the easiest, most exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. Pick more or less than 2 or more players' stats, and then watch the winnings roll in. Baseball season is well underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks entries, whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs. Take your pick of more or less and add them to your Prize Picks entry. Entries are really simple to play, taking less than 60 seconds to submit, turning $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps of your screen. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's a first deposit match up to $100 by using code LOCKEDONMLB. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. 3-game series with the Braves begins Monday. All 3 games at 6:20 Central. Imanaga and Reynaldo Lopez, Tyone and Chris Sale, and TBD against Charlie Morton. The Braves won 5 in a row entering Sunday night's game. They're 24-12 entering Sunday night's game. Sam, maybe that game is over. You can give us an update. Very likely the best team in baseball, and this is
you think so?
Spencer Strider being out for the year. They've proven well in all 3 phases, especially the bullpen. Imagine that. One notable I did have just on the negative side for them, because I was looking at
my first overall fantasy pick. Is that what you're going to talk about?
Well, I was looking at Fangraphs Sunday, and Matt Olson is a minus 0.2 WAR.
And Ronald Acuna has like 3 homers, and it's so funny. Do you want to know? And I hand to God being serious. As you were reading that, the Mets just hit a walk-off homer against them.
Okay, so the Braves are 24-13 on the year.
Brandon Nimmo down 1, left on left, walk-off 2-run homer.
Wow, so they were trailing.
Yep, they were trailing.
Okay, that's
a couple notables for the Braves. I think they're one of the big 3 in baseball, but I'm not sure. I think the Dodgers are better than them for sure.
Yankees, Orioles,
and Philly. Philly's really good.
Phillies, yeah.
But I think they're right up there. Outside, the Dodgers swept them. I think the Dodgers are a leg up on them.
Okay,
but because of the Strider thing, really,
right? That's big.
Their pitching staff right now, it's Fried. It's Lopez, it's Morton, it's Sale, and it's Elder. It's not really super overwhelming. Their bullpen's been really good. And then I believe that they had an injury on Sunday to a key player, Austin Riley. He left the game due to an oblique, not an oblique, but a side problem after a swing. So I would doubt that he'll be in the lineup on Monday.
Yeah.
And actually, the guy that replaced him, I believe, is the guy that does the podcast with Ian Happ, Zach Short. Is that who that is?
No kidding.
Is that who it is? Am I right on that?
Yeah, he went to the Braves.
Yeah. So he actually came in and walked twice today. But yeah, their lineup they ran out there. Acuna, obviously a superstar, went right. Albies one of the best players at his position. Riley injured. Matt Olson, slow start. You just hope these guys don't get right. And then one of the best hitters in baseball this year has been Marcell Ozuna.
Well, I wanted to ask you because sometimes you keep track of the teams that are losing.
Yeah.
So you want to get a win out of their way.
Yeah.
Here's a team that won 5 in a row. They just got beat on a walk-off. What do you think about that?
I think with this team, it's going to be tough regardless.
Because they were hot all week.
Yeah. It's one of those series you pencil in as a 2 out of 3 loss. If it happens, fine. If you win 2, you're thrilled. You'd like to avoid a sweep, and then you come back over the weekend and you get right against this Pittsburgh team. For 4, obviously some rough memories because that's kind of where our season got derailed last year.
Yeah.
But I'm interested. I'm excited. I always like to see when the Cubs match up against these type of teams. They held their own and then some against the Dodgers at Wrigley Field. We'll see how they go in against Atlanta. If you can neutralize Acuna and Olsen, they're a very mortal team. And Ronaldo Lopez is somebody who's having a very nice season, but he is not. This is not a Spencer Strider. This is not a Jared Jones, Dylan Cease situation. This is somebody, if the Cubs continue to swing the bats well, they could do damage against him. And even Sale and Morton, it's not really the end of the world. So hopefully, I honestly, I know I don't want to put too much on this, but I think Monday's a pretty good matchup for the Cubs. Hopefully they could win that game. And I'm excited to watch Imanaga face a really good lineup again.
Yeah, my target win is Monday for sure. Purely matchup based with Imanaga, especially. Do have rain chances down there Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday does look to be in jeopardy with 80% chance of rain in the afternoon and evening. We'll see about Monday. And again, Braves to Pirates, no off days this week for the Cubs.
And the Braves are minus 145 Monday night. So Vegas doesn't really care about Imanaga much. I think that's a little high.
But yeah, I think so too. I feel good about Monday.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully
Rain's falling, get a couple early runs. Let's go.
Hopefully they can get the ball game in. And it was just this has just been kind of crazy. I'm so happy everyone's along with the ride, along for the roller coaster with us. It
really is a roller coaster.
This episode could go 2 hours if we could. There's so much to talk. I mean, we could just do 2 hours on the injury front.
Yeah, Locked On's format, to remind folks, about 20. Really, it was when we began with the network, it was 20 to 30 minutes. Now it's about 24 to 32. It's you could break down Almonte for a whole segment if you want.
What calls will we get about roster moves tomorrow? Give us a call.
Yeah. Ian Happ, a better series. Thank you so much for checking out this edition of Locked On Cubs. You give us 20 to 30 minutes. Might have to update that.
He had a double off David Bednar, and if you didn't know any better, you'd think they were teammates as kid.
We'll give you all things Cubs with a laugh or two along the way. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube. Yeah, Hap from Pittsburgh and went to Cincinnati for college. Hit subscribe on YouTube as we make the push to 10,000 subs. Smash the like button for the algorithm and leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcast. Hap also owns and operates a coffee company. And if you want more, Matt and Sam, consider supporting us by subscribing to our Unlocked.
He also debuted in St. Louis
podcast. Pat Hughes was a treat to listen to on the TV side. I will say that on Sunday. The link to subscribe to Unlocked is in the episode description. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.